Welcome everybody to the Rotating Tap Podcast. We've got Steve Vanderplug, Korey, David, and special guests. Maybe beer people talking comedy or comedians talking beer. Listen up everybody and we'll see what you will hear. I won't waste any more time cause it's going very fast. It's the Rotating Tap Podcast.
Good to go.
So wait, we got brand new. So why? What prompted you guys to get brand new glassware? Yeah, we're just going for it.
You're not going to give them the spiel?
What about what?
About who you are as a person.
All right, we can edit this out. Hi, my name's Korey David. Welcome to the Rotating Tap Podcast.
Hey, I'm Steve Vanderplug here with fellow idiot Korey David.
You still sound like shit, so this hasn't gotten any better after 3 episodes, 4 episodes, 5, whatever we're doing.
People love my voice, okay? I'll have you know. It's highly acclaimed in the world.
Very soothing. Steve actually listens to loops of his stand-up comedy before he goes to bed, puts him to sleep, and makes everybody else hate him.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It knocks me right out, but it's kind of like it's like a white noise machine. Just sometimes I'll record myself gargling salt water. Just it knocks me right out.
All right, moving on. We're here at our mutual friend Brewing Company in the Rhino District. Very excited to be here. These guys make some of the best beer in the city. We're here with Jan. Jan, could you just introduce yourself a little bit and tell us what you do?
Yeah, hey, I'm Jan. I'm the head brewer here at our mutual friend Brewing Company. Been head brewer for about 5 years now.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice.
Here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Cool. Thanks for having. So you were just telling us about, before I just jumped right into it, that you guys ordered brand new glassware.
We got all new glassware
Were you using
debuting
sippy
today.
cups before, or
We
is
were
this-
using shaker glasses and kind of Belgian goblets, and we're moving away from that. So
Yeah,
we've got
these are fancy boys.
we've got some really nice raw still glassware. We're going with the 16-ounce Harmony to serve all of our Belgian style beers, sours, and fruited beers like that.
Sweet.
And then we've got some lager glassware from Rastel as well that we serve our lager in, and some smoked beers. And then we went with kind of the traditional bubble pint for kind of utility beers. So.
Well,
yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, 7 years, and we're finally putting out some nice glassware for everybody to enjoy the beer.
This is a lot nicer than the McDonald's pint glass collection that I have at my own house.
I like the Hamburglar one. That's
Yeah,
a
it's
nice
pretty good.
one.
It's pretty tight.
There's no stem on it though. I'm all about. I like stems in beer, not stems in weeds.
Now, how are you going to prevent people from stealing these? Because everybody shoves a pint
We went with
glass or two down their
lightest.
pants.
We went with the smallest little logo on there, so we're hoping people don't even notice that it's there.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna eat the cost of. We figured it's time to present our beer properly. So.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
And if you tried to shove, it's pretty thin walls. So if you tried to shove one of these down your pants, you're probably going to.
Easily breakable.
These are big. Yeah. The large stem glass is kind of hard to steal. You'd have to have a big bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have a purse, but I could easily see somebody just making the wrong move and having a purse full of glass, just shattered glass throughout their
And then they
bag.
get what they deserve.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Karma.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a mix of shards of glass and puke from a late night of drinking in Rhino.
Right, going over to Finn's Manor and not being able to handle your alcohol.
Yeah. So, Jen, we start every podcast the same way. So when people find out that we're comedians, they always say,
Tell me a joke. Make me laugh.
we're going to flip that on you right now. So tell us a joke.
All right. This is my grandpa's joke. It's horrible.
He's
and
deflecting.
It's super short.
He's deflecting already.
Which I use on collabs and stuff, though. Collabs it's a good one to use at collabs. So the joke goes, is there anything I can say to help? Which Justin Furs, I'm not going to actually help. I could just help by talking. Yeah. Not a great joke, but sometimes gets a
Very
chuckle.
truthful.
Yeah.
No,
The beer's
that's great.
better than the joke telling. Thank God. We're in luck. So another thing we like to do before we start getting into some of the beers is what we call a Type 5. And that's essentially when comedians are doing a late night spot or a show around town, and they're expected to do their best 5 minutes in under 5 minutes.
Korey still only has 3, so don't worry if you can't hold up.
In about 20 years, I'll be at 4. And that's when I'll really break my comedy career.
Barrel-aged comedy.
So tell us a little bit. I know you already kind of told us
Sure.
about your position here, but just give us your beer background and where you come, because we're from same part of upstate New York.
Yeah. I'm from upstate New York originally. Moved out here to go snowboarding eventually. When I was way younger, but
No job prospects. You were just
nothing.
like, yeah,
Hell
I'm
no,
just gonna
no.
wanna ride.
But actually, when I lived up in the mountains, I kind of got introduced to craft beer up there. Actually, drinking I lived in Breckenridge,
Right.
and then
Okay.
there was like maybe a couple beer stores up there, and I would just peruse, the bomber sections when bombers were a thing.
Yeah.
Were you just going
Yeah.
for like? Because I'm sure you were living on like a ski bum budget. Was
Oh,
it, like-
totally.
were you doing
High
the-
ABV?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The inverse relationship that everybody does when they're young. Of
Yeah.
like, all right, what's
Yeah.
the most amount of alcohol I can get
100%.
for the lowest price?
So I ended up drinking a lot of Avery bombers, all the old like Belgian style strong beers that they would make.
Nice.
Sure.
And drinking Old Chub, trying to do Old Chub Challenge, which
Oh,
we used to do,
boy.
which is if you could drink a 6-pack of Old Chub and not puke, then.
Damn.
Did
made
you have
it.
to duct
Did
tape them
anybody
all to your
do it?
hands?
Yeah, no. You don't have to do that. No, but nobody ever ends. It always ends horribly. It's a terrible
Yeah.
thing to do. But yeah, so that was kind of my introduction to like craft beer for the most part. Was moving out here to Colorado. I turned 21 up in the mountains, so I was legally able to buy,
Yeah.
good beer
Sure.
up there. Eventually made my way down to Denver. Started homebrewing, getting more into beer over time. Always been passionate about beer, though. Been collecting bottles and shit since I could buy beer. So
Yeah,
have a
nice.
giant cellar at home full of old beer that probably isn't very good, but I
Until
can't get rid of
somebody,
it all.
until a homeless
Yeah.
guy goes to raid
Yeah.
it and just dumps it all out. It's like, I need to return these.
Slowly, I'm like weeding out all like the stuff that shouldn't have been aged, and over the years, I replaced it with like lambic and barley wines and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
How many
Yeah.
how many beers do you think you have in your cellar?
Oh man, it's not as crazy as some people, but it's a lot. It's like 500, 600 bottles.
Yeah, not crazy.
Yeah.
Just a couple beers.
Yeah.
Just a couple.
No.
Yeah.
You get on the internet and you talk to people. It doesn't seem that bad.
Right, yeah, the internet makes everything
Yeah,
better.
people
Yeah.
also join
Yeah.
Al Qaeda on the internet. So that's
Yep.
500 to 600 bottles.
Yeah.
You're a hoarder.
I'm
Like,
a
you're
big
not
time
even
hoarder.
a-
Yeah, I hoard a lot of stuff.
How many dead cats are behind those
No
bottles?
cats. No cats. Allergic to cats.
We're gonna see a
Yeah.
documentary about you on the Lifetime channel.
So
Yeah.
do you remember? Actually, so I had a cellar going in my parents' place for a while because I didn't have a basement when I was living in upstate New York. It was
Yeah.
just like, yeah. Anyway, so my parents had this really great finished basement. They had shelves in the back where we would keep all of our camping gear and stuff. But my family is very Mormon and didn't really approve of me even working in the beer industry, right? So I had about 50 bottles down there at
Yeah.
one point, and then my mom calls me like one day and she's like, "Is this your beer down in the basement?" Like, I don't know. Depends on what you found. If it's a 30 rack of Coors Light, it's probably Dad's. But if it's big bottles, yeah, sorry. I just outed myself. So,
I'm gonna tell your mom about that. I'm gonna tell her you lied to her.
well, she already knows, dummy. This was years ago.
I still have auxiliary cellars back east at my in-laws and my parents' house.
So you're like a squirrel.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hiding nuts for the winter.
Yeah.
Do you
A little
remember-
bit, yeah.
So when you first started
Yeah,
drinking craft
yeah,
up in Breckenridge,
yeah.
do you remember any brand in particular where you first got going and you're like, wow, I love this so much, and you kind of like staked flag in it, so to speak?
Yeah, Avery probably to start. Yeah, for sure. Just
Right.
like Salvation, I think that's what it was called. I
Yeah.
don't even know if they still make it. It was just whatever it was strongest.
Yeah.
But quickly, turned into just drinking tons of Belgian beer too. As much as I could get my hands on going back east when I was there, and bottle shops back east were getting a lot more European beer than in Colorado. So quickly got into a lot of Belgian beer through my wife. Actually, she kind of introduced me to Trappist beers and gooses and stuff like that. She went to Cantillon when she was 22, like
Oh, cool.
long time
Whoa,
ago.
that's pretty awesome.
So pretty
Yeah.
into like Omegang and stuff too?
Love Omegang, yeah,
Yeah, those
for
guys-
sure.
yeah. That
Three,
was definitely-
3 fills.
Three
yeah.
Fills and Rare
Yeah,
Voss
yeah,
were like my
yeah,
shit in
yeah,
college.
yeah.
Those were my go-tos.
Great brews. So definitely took a hard turn to Belgian style beers as soon as I got into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Now,
Yeah.
has that influenced your brewing here at all?
Still this day, still.
Yeah,
So it was a home brew for a little while. It was pretty much only successful brewing Saison at home. Didn't ever get like a nice enough. I was brewing in a 1-bedroom apartment. Never had temperature control or anything like that. So I brewed a lot of Saison.
You
and
brewed
that's
in your apartment?
a little bit.
Like
yeah.
you didn't go outside. You brewed it.
No,
in your
inside.
apartment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in Capitol Hill. No dishwasher or anything. It was.
That's
It was
intense,
a
dude.
pain in the
That's
ass.
like
Yeah.
like cooking meth on an RV,
Yeah.
dude. That's like
Yeah,
a mini
yeah.
Breaking Bad
Yeah.
plot.
There's just a hole in the ground.
Yeah,
An apartment
just on the
usually-
stovetop, you can do it. But yeah, so just all the Belgian stuff has carried through my brewing continuously. I love American style IPA and everything
Yeah,
like that as
sure.
well. Crush probably more IPA than anything, but if somebody asks, I say saison.
Well,
is my favorite
saison's
style.
such a tough
Yeah.
one to do as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's such a I don't know. It seems like more volatile yeast strain in general. So what do you just keep in your apartment at a balmy 75, 80 degrees?
Yeah,
even
totally.
In the
Yeah,
summer?
in the closet, I'm hoping that's the right temperature, and they
Yeah.
always kind of turned out, you know.
Yeah. It also
Yeah.
tastes like winter coats.
Yeah. A little dusty.
Yeah.
That's okay though for Belgian beer.
Yeah. I think it's encouraged. It tastes like vomit
Yeah.
and manure.
Yeah.
That's not a big selling point for me.
Some people use
personally.
that though. Some people will actually say
Vomit
this.
would be definitely terrible. I wouldn't want that.
I've heard somebody
Yeah.
in a beer store, like the
Yeah.
owner of a beer store, describe a beer that way. It's like vomit, but in a good way.
Oh, that good vomit. that like, oh, I just ate Chipotle and I can still taste the cilantro.
Yeah, butyric
Just-
acid isn't something I'm into in a
Just
beer.
finished Fogo de Chao and PF Chang leftovers. That good vomit. Yeah,
Gross. That's disgusting.
a little gross. Yeah, but yeah, another one's like horse blanket. People use that one.
People
all the
use
time.
horse blanket all the time for like Brettanomyces.
But how many
Yeah.
times are people like licking horse blankets that they really have a comprehension of what that's supposed to
Never.
be like?
Yeah.
Cat food, I hear, not
Yeah.
necessarily for saisons per se.
Yeah.
So somebody's just wrapped in a horse blanket, just munching on cat food, while they sip expensive
Yum.
beers, one out of their 500 bottle collection.
I'm pretty sure
This
this
is Jan.
that's exactly how the Oregon Trail happened. That's how they met Pocahontas. They're like, "Do you want some cat food?" And
Yeah,
she was into it.
she had some great beer. Cool. So we have a feature beer in front of us, something that you guys want to talk about and you're excited about, in one of your brand new, beautiful glasses. So what do we got in front of us? The color is amazing.
Yeah, it's Pele Viola, and it is a mixed culture beer, wine hybrid beer, and it is the base is golden sour beer that was barrel fermented in oak, and then we blended that base with Colorado grown Primitivo grapes. So it's got a really deep inky red color.
Yeah, it's almost like
Yeah.
blood. This is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this is what I imagine them drinking at communion.
Yeah, they actually sacrificed a live goat in the back as a part of this beer. Added a few drops of blood.
That'd be pretty fucking metal. I admit
Yeah,
to
that'd
that.
be pretty hardcore.
No,
it's beautiful.
It looks beautiful. It's also delicious. I'm not huge on sours, but the sour is very like. It's just a little hint of it in the aftertaste.
Yeah, it's definitely not overly sour. To me, it kind of drinks almost like a natural like Lambrusco or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Cheers,
super
guys.
dry. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Happy to have you guys.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's not overly acidic. A lot of sours that exist out there, not a ton, but enough where you take a sip of it and you're like, I could literally strip the paint off my car with this thing.
Totally.
Which is ridiculous. It's just too
Yeah.
much. It's like hot sauce. It's
Yeah.
like after a certain point, you're just showing off.
Yeah.
Like, you can't actually enjoy this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had anything before that you had to had to either give it just way more time or it just didn't come out the way you wanted it to and it was just way too acidic or tart?
Yeah, totally. So we did a collab with Wiley Roots up in Greeley
Oh, nice.
a long time ago.
First of
Still
all, I
great
do need
friends
to
of us,
interject
yeah.
that you keep saying collab instead of
Yeah.
collab. Is there a reason for that? Is
Collab?
That collab?
I don't know.
That's also the planet that Mormons think that they go to when they die. So,
Oh, cool.
Collab,
yeah,
really?
collab. Yeah.
Oh, see, I've always known it as collab too, like not like collab.
I say collab.
collab.
Collab?
Like
Collab.
I say collaboration.
Say it
but I
again.
say
Did we get that enough? Collab.
collab?
Make
Yeah.
a comment on the page when we post this online, even though that's not going to probably, we're not gonna
Is
be able
it
to hear
is it
anybody say it.
CO Lab or is it CO Lab? That's
Stay tuned. We'll find out. So you did a collab.
Yeah, with Wiley Roots. It's called New Boot Goofin' after the
Like Reno 911. Yeah. They're bringing that show back.
People
I'm
have
so
ripped that
excited.
name off from us after the fact, but we were the first ones to name a beer that.
Shots fired.
Just goofing.
Tell us who
New
they
Boot
were.
Goofin'.
Tell us who they were.
I can't remember. That beer was so sour though that we had to blend it back twice with just straight up saison, and it is
Yeah.
still the most sour beer we've ever brewed without it being like overly acetic. You know, you don't want like that acetobacter infection of vinegar to
Okay.
happen. It didn't have that. It was just ripping tart sour.
I am going
And
to
then,
say I would pronounce that one acidic and not acetic, but that's just
Yeah.
we all
Yeah.
have different pronunciations here. That's okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so
Steve went to
it does
community
happen.
college, so he's probably wrong.
Oh,
For a
same.
couple years,
Yeah.
and then I graduated with a degree in English. from a big boy school.
Which is clearly paying off now.
Yeah, that's what you get with a degree. You start a podcast with someone you barely know.
Yeah. So how much of your sours would you say you actually wind up like having to blend? Is it most of them where you're doing old and young and mixing it with different beers?
Yeah, like probably like 60% are blended and 40% are straight up as is. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We try to go for as is though a lot. That's the main goal, but we end up blending a lot, which is nice. Yeah. Not because it's too sour or something. It's usually just like we want to get this character of a different barrel into the final blend. So.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So is this something you guys have available most of the time, or is it just a special release?
That was a special release one-off, but we're looking to do some more wine hybrid beers this coming year for the next harvest. So wine harvest is once a year, so we only get to make them once a year.
Are you trying to stay specifically to Colorado grown grapes?
Yeah, in the future we are. We will use some other grapes, but trying our hardest to get Colorado grown grapes, which come from the western slope.
Yeah,
I was
Grand
gonna
Junction
say,
area.
Totally.
Are they any good?
They're awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. These grapes are crazy strong. Tons. So this ended up like at 9.6%. The base beer was like 5 that we blended it to. So the amount of sugar that was in those grapes really bumped up the ABV once it re-fermented. Yeah.
That's surprising.
Giddy up.
You really-
Time for a nap. It's going to be time for a nap after this bad boy.
Right?
Well, dude, I'm finding out there's all kinds of fruits that are grown in Colorado. We obviously knew about peaches, but we had a beer.
yeah.
We had a beer from Epic that's brewed with Colorado honeydew.
Oh, right.
As well.
Yeah, sure.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, because honeydew is such a subtle flavor anyway that'll complement like a light tart beer. So
Yeah.
I didn't even know the grapes could be grown in Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
We have a lot of ecosystems here, or as you would call them up north, ecosystems.
Or ecosystems.
We call them ecosystems.
Yeah, that's fair. You dummy.
Cheers.
Cheers. Anyway, that kind of reminds me of. So obviously there's vineyards in upstate New York as well.
Yeah.
And all the wine is just trash.
Most,
so
90% of it is trash.
Yeah, it's just
for
like
sure.
Smuckers in a wine
Yeah,
bottle.
yeah,
It's like-
yeah. Country wine.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's like what it's called.
To be fair, none of the wine that comes out of the grapes in Grand Junction is very good either. It's not. I mean, some of it's okay.
I
but
think
most of
there's
it's
some
like-
good stuff starting to happen out there. There's like one called Jackrabbit Hill that does like organic biodynamic wines, and then there's maybe a couple other, but the old stuff is kind of that country wine style of stuff. Really sweet. Yeah.
The thing that really blew my mind about wine that I didn't learn until recently because I'm stupid as shit, but it takes so long before you can actually harvest any grapes from a grape plant.
Oh yeah.
Like you plant it and you still can't harvest anything for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that
It
has
takes so
something to do
long
with
for the
it.
vines to develop.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it takes like 3 years for a hop vine to develop before you can actually get.
Oh, really?
the
Oh
hops
yeah,
off
and the
of it.
infrastructure
Yeah.
in the hop farm
Yeah.
is ridiculous. Like,
Totally.
it's so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
money, and you're looking
Yeah.
at 6 to 7 years before
Yeah.
you even get
Totally
a
something
good
similar.
yield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like the way you described the winemakers on the Western Slope was they try real hard.
I think so. I haven't gone to too many, but I've bought in some bottles. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to count for something.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you want to
Nice.
work on next?
I think it's time to drink some. Not us, not us.
I mean, I'm going to keep drinking.
I would
not
like
what
for
Jan's
Jan to drink one quickly. Is what I'm getting at. And
Are you
it's-
talking about the chug leaderboard?
Yes, that's exactly what
Oh,
I'm
shit,
talking
all right.
about. Yeah.
So we've got a bunch of times on there already. Steve actually posted the first leaderboard not that long ago, and it's pretty tough to beat. So
It
are you,
is.
Jan, are you pretty good at chugging beer,
No.
or is this okay? So we're
I'll
gonna
try my best. We have some chug contests here at the brewery ourselves. We have a photo booth. And if you can chug, it's called a 20-ounce challenge. You got to chug 20 ounces before the photo booth is done.
Oh,
way.
fair.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
How many pictures do you get? Is it 3 or 4?
You get 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's doable. The 32-ounce challenge has not been done yet, though. Nobody's gotten over that mark. So that's like a whole crowler.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to come back and get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Has anybody
Yeah.
just straight up fallen out of the photo booth right after they tried the chug challenge?
I haven't seen that yet. It's usually our staff that's going for the record.
Well, something to shoot for. Then.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
So, well, we do 2 things with the chug off. So Steve's gonna time you, but just tell us what the beer is first. Then you chug, and then immediately afterward, you have to describe it to us and tell us more about it. So even if you're a little gassy, you got to burp or whatever, it's highly encouraged. It's actually part of the fun. So
That way people know that you actually drank it.
yeah.
So it's the Fizz is what it's called. It's our 100% Colorado Keller Pills.
Great. Whenever you're ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
It's going. It's going.
Wow,
I mean, he looks
he's
good.
done this
The way that he's
before.
dressed, he actually kind of looks like he's ready to rob a bank, though. So this is just, I think, for
Well played.
pure
well
beer
played.
confidence. A little bit of a drip, but looking pretty good. He's going to have a soggy right nipple. So tell us about the beer.
Oh, it's delicious. Yeah, it's got a pretty strong hop character, really good malt backbone to it.
What kind of hops?
It's got Colorado grown crystals and cascades, and it's all Colorado malt too.
Yeah, do you like
yeah.
those?
You're
It's good.
Oh
He's on
boy.
the struggle bus
Yeah.
right
Yes.
It's good. It's good.
now. So do you feel,
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys spend great deals of time like sourcing ingredients and whatnot, but do you really feel like the Colorado farms are like up to snuff with, hops that are grown in the Pacific Northwest and whatnot?
Hops, we kind of can get like the your kind of standard Cascade Chinooks, Crystals, Nuggets, Willamettes, stuff like that. So we're not getting any sexy varieties grown in Colorado. There aren't any big hop farms that specialize in breeding their own hops. So no Citra, nothing like that's getting grown out here.
Sure.
They have their own character. They have their place for sure. It'd be fun if we did get some more tropical or citrusy or more citrus forward hops from Colorado. But the malt from Colorado, craft malt started in Colorado. The malt from Colorado, we grow tons of barley and wheat in Colorado. It's awesome. Yeah.
So do you try to stay mostly local with all the ingredients you
We're
use?
about 60% local,
Okay.
except for the hops. The hops in our we sell more IPA than anything else. We use Citra and Vic Secret and Idaho 7, tons of hops grown everywhere.
And farms out here just nice.
There
There
we
it
go.
is.
That was it.
Yeah.
Boom. Had to get the big one out.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll slap you on the back if you need to do more. You just come over here.
Yeah.
Bounce you on my knee. So the thing with, I'm sure, like smaller farms like in Colorado, is that you just don't get the yield that these bigger farms will
totally.
get. So
Yeah.
you're gonna pay a little bit more, which I'm sure you guys are fine with because you want to support
Absolutely.
local businesses.
Yep.
But sometimes you just need way more Citra. You need way
Absolutely.
more Cascade than these
Yeah.
places can supply.
Yeah. And then like we'll go for, Cascade or, Centennial grown in the Pacific Northwest because it'll have a totally different characteristic than the stuff grown in Colorado.
Sure.
too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are there any hop varieties in particular that you just can't fucking stand? That you're just like, I really.
Oh shit,
I
Summit's
really
the
hate this.
worst.
Summit?
Yeah, by a lot.
What about?
Yeah,
but why?
it just tastes like garlic and onion. It
Yeah.
should be banned.
Yeah.
It's a terrible hop.
Specifically used for pasta recipes.
Yeah. It's horrible. It's this high alpha hop that I don't know why it exists. No idea.
They just added it to the
Yeah.
menu at Olive Garden. I don't know if you noticed that.
I missed it. I missed that.
All you can eat.
Yeah.
It comes on the side with your pastas.
Yeah. Actually, Steve and I can chat amongst ourselves a little bit, but can we grab a sample of the Keller Pills?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
We'll
Damn.
hang tight for a second.
We're gonna get a little bit more booze for ourselves here. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason. We're not actually going to air these episodes.
No,
at
no
any
one's
point
ever
in
gonna
time.
listen to them.
This device that we're recording on isn't even plugged in.
It is a toy. We found this at a thrift shop.
It's actually an orange gun.
It doesn't shoot darts or water. It is a toy gun.
It really is
Doesn't make
amazing
noise.
how. Steve, you grew up in Denver,
Yeah.
and you've seen this area change. Everybody gets really mad when you call this area Rhino instead of 5 Points, but it really has
this
become a
isn't-
revitalized neighborhood.
Rhino is really kind of separate from 5 Points. Like 5 Points is still a thing. It's just a little bit more south than Rhino.
Okay.
I've never known this neighborhood as Rhino until recently, but now
Thank you.
I think it's fitting because it's just short for River North. But the neighborhood itself has changed. There's certain aspects of this neighborhood that I love now and certain that I hate.
What do you hate about it?
The
Everybody wants to know what you hate about
There's
it.
it started very artsy. Like one of the first places to open in this neighborhood was the Matchbox, and it was very hipster and artsy and very low key. And now it's just fucking kind of douchey. It's pretty douchey right now.
Well, that's how gentrification works. The artists move in and make a space really cool, and then people that aren't cool buy it, essentially. And they
Yeah.
price everybody else out.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but
What are you going to do?
nothing. I'm gonna just keep drinking people's beer. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's fair. So what do we got for a time?
We came out to 7.05 seconds.
Not bad.
Which is not bad.
All right.
But I don't know if you'll be in the top 10. We have some pretty good ones. Josh Gilman is still in the lead at 4.8 0.26 seconds.
He'll be
Savage.
bragging about that until he's dead,
That's his biggest credit.
which is
Yeah.
hopefully soon.
What kind of beer are people choosing?
Everybody's doing something different. Steve and I actually went with an IPA.
Yeah,
for
we
the
chugged,
first one.
we chugged IPAs.
Awesome.
Yeah, he just needed to clear out his
yeah.
fridge, and that was the day that we were recording. So.
Yeah, I only had one Kolsch, so I was like, well, it looks like we're both doing IPAs.
But Pilsners, Kolsch's, those are usually the
Yeah.
biggest ones for sure.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for somebody to go with like a 12%er for a full pint.
That's going to be amazing.
Just send it.
Just to really, ball out. Well, the Skillman and Kobos did a peach pale ale, which is like just was super sweet.
Yeah, and Skillman just knows how to open his throat. That's all. Open his mouth, open his throat.
Do you help him practice? That's fair. All right.
Now, I'm going to let that one sit in silence
Just
for
let
a
it
second.
just let it
I'm gonna,
marinate.
yeah, I
Just
want to
let
let
it-
that one soak into all the listeners. Huh?
Listen, I was just tagging your terrible joke, so don't blame. Don't
Yeah.
blame me.
Guess what? Tag, you're it, bitch.
So, Jan, you've been here for how long has the tap room been in existence? For that long as well? or
I've been
how-
working here. I started a month after we opened in 2012. I started in the tap room here, actually.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So 2012, yeah.
That's awesome.
So same year Matchbox opened.
Yeah.
There was Crema, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Meadowlark and Larimer Lounge and
Meadowlark and Larimer Lounge have been there.
and then
longer
Walnut
than
Room,
anybody.
and
Yeah.
that was it in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that
there
was
is
it.
no other retail at all.
No, absolutely
Yeah.
not. And now
Yeah.
it's like
It was a
so-
one-way street. Our parking lot was dirt.
Yeah. Now you can't find parking within blocks usually.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know if there was any other consideration to open somewhere else besides the Rhino District? Like why you guys kind of settled here?
Just because
Like-
kind of like Crema was here and saw the potential of the neighborhood really,
Yeah.
and rent was really cheap back then actually. Kind of why
Yeah.
I settled in Denver because I remember moving here and paying $675 for a 700 square foot
How the
apartment.
times have changed.
Yeah.
All you New Yorkers keep
Yeah.
moving here.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
lived here actually longer than I lived in New York even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I screwed it up
Yeah.
for everybody.
No,
You
everybody.
sure did.
Just like everything else. Steve, what do you want to get into?
Well, talking about people complaining, I like to get into one of my favorite segments where we find negative reviews online, and we're going to have you read some of them.
Oh, sure.
So let's see.
How often do you actually look into your own negative
I look at beer
by any
reviews
chance?
maybe once a week, and I should do it less because it's not good for my my psyche.
A comment section
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
cesspool
Yeah,
of
I should do it
humanity.
less than that. I generally check back in around that.
Yeah, the comment
yeah.
section is the real Florida
Yeah, yeah.
of the internet.
I'm going to have you start with this one. This one's kind of a softball. And I do mean kind of a softball, but I'm going to have you read this review. Feel free to read the name. And
Oh, this is
stars
4
if you
years
want.
ago.
Yeah, 4
Here
years
we
ago.
go. Andrew B on Yelp, I believe this is 1 star. We were in there about a week or a week and a half ago. Walked in and it smelled like an outhouse. The people inside didn't mind, so we left. Went to a different brewery. Maybe stayed for an hour and came back and gave it a second try, and it was the same.
Now,
There's also more to it that is not, you can't really explain, but then there's a picture posted of a famous mural.
Oh yeah,
in the
yeah.
neighborhood.
That's
Like,
Burns'
that's your-
mural. He actually painted the outside of our building too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He's
but it's your
very
fault
talented.
that it's there. That's part of the 1 star review, actually.
The review literally has
Yeah.
the picture, and it says, it was a painting on a building close by.
Now, what they don't know is that outhouse is sometimes a very favorable flavor in beer.
Not at home method.
No,
Not
no,
at
no,
home
no,
method.
no, no,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
want to.
yeah,
Yeah, all right,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not something that
Yeah,
you want
no,
to
no,
be
We're
a
gonna
part
stay
of
away
here.
from outhouse Roma beer.
All right,
at
that's
home
fine.
method. Yeah, yeah.
I feel like you're missing out on an
Yeah.
opportunity.
I'll read this one. This one was 2 stars from Angela P. 5 months ago. So this is a recent one on Yelp. Was pretty disappointed in the customer service tonight. I showed up at 10:01,
In the morning?
was denied service, went to the restroom. When I came out, other customers were still getting served. Working in the industry, I understand serving time, but also shouldn't deny service to newcomers. If you work in the service industry and you know a place closes at 10 o'clock, why are you going in there at 10 o'clock expecting...
Is that in the review that they also work in the service industry?
Yeah, she says that she
Anytime
works...
somebody has to put that in the review makes me feel like you're a piece of shit.
We close at 10 Monday Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm sure
so that's
that,
a closing
I'm sure
time.
it was
Yeah.
10:01.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was one of those
Yeah.
days.
Listen, I work in the service industry.
Yeah, right. Do you know who I am?
Yeah. When a bar is closed, I still expect to be served.
I work at Elways at the Denver International Airport. God damn it.
Yeah.
Let me in.
So if somebody comes in at 10:01 and you guys are ready to like shut the fuck down, like what do you? would you
That's
just-
the bartender's call. We're
Yeah.
good with that. Yeah.
Yeah. How often are
Yeah.
you? What if you walked in at 10:01? Would they still kick you out?
It depends if they have the taps closed up. I'm not gonna if they have the taps sealed up and cleaned out. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna pour myself a beer.
Yeah.
I'll keep it clean.
Right.
I'll go right to the
Yeah.
Bright tank and
yeah, I'll
pour
go to the
one
Bright and
myself.
hook up the pigtail. Yeah, easy enough.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got some other weird ones in here. This one, here's one, and we'll talk about this because this is something I find interesting. But there's one consistent complaint that I found for you guys online, which doesn't really exist with the other breweries we've interviewed.
So this guy's name's Matt W. to 1 star. Ouch. Beer was decent, but seemed like I've had it at other places. Biggest complaint was the lack of Fs towards having a line of people and just letting anyone belly up to order and ignoring the line. The cherry on top was making eye contact, then turning towards the person who just walked up. Never again.
Never
The
again.
fact that you used F's instead of just saying fuck makes me think you're a coward. And
Yeah.
to begin with, and you're just making eye contact and assuming that people are going to say hi to you. It's
Being
like,
a little
no.
bitch.
Yeah, just wave, maybe say hi, or just say fuck to the bartender, and I'm sure you'll get their attention.
Now, for some reason, the biggest complaint that I did find was the line situation here. Like,
Yeah.
people, I don't see any signs that say the line starts here. I don't understand why people, like, it's a bar. It's a long bar.
That's a
Like,
Colorado
people-
thing, though. Like
It's
I
very
haven't seen that
odd.
in a
I
lot
don't
of places.
understand this at all.
So many places have fucking lines.
I don't get this queue up to get your drink thing that happens in Denver. I don't understand that.
No, I don't
Find
get
an
it.
open spot in the bar and try to get a drink.
That's
That's
pretty
how.
standard.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
I
what we
mean,
think too.
This
So
is
I
a
don't
dog
know.
eat dog world,
Yeah,
baby.
If there's like
yeah.
a posted sign that says like please order beer
there's-
here,
sure, yeah.
But if there's not, it's like don't just go for
But
it.
it's funny
Like,
that that's even a thing. There's so many breweries in Colorado that you go to that have like a line
Yeah.
sign. That's just I'm so unfamiliar with that concept, especially if it's just a tap room and you're kind of treating it like a bar anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say is your go-to move if you're trying to get a drink at the bar? You know, you're trying to get noticed. Do you flare out the butt cheeks a little bit? Do you give them a smile? Like, what's your go-to?
Definitely find a slot open, make some eye contact, have money ready.
We don't
Yeah,
like
kinda
calling
standard
we don't
stuff.
like calling women slots on this show. I'd appreciate it if you didn't, Jan.
Whoa, settle
call-
down. That's not what I was saying.
I'll call it. I'll call it worse. No,
So,
just kidding.
so you find a spot at the bar and you just give them a wave.
Sure.
Slow,
Yeah.
gentle
Get
wave.
attention. Just be like, hey, give me a beer. I don't know.
Give me a fucking beer.
Yeah. Just need a beer.
Yeah.
Get a beer, yeah. We'll do this one. This one's from 7 months ago. This will be the last one of these
Sure.
we read. Jan, I'm going to have you read this one.
Yeah, no problem. Marie W. 2 stars. Pretty good beer. Only problem was once I selected my beers and got a flight, which I had to ask for not really advertised, and it was my first time here. I was not given the list of my beers I chose and was supposed to guess. Very hipster place. Reminds me of Austin, and I moved out of Austin. Staff is kind of friendly. Overall, just not that great of a bar brewery. Damn.
Because
What would you say to that?
go back to Austin is what I would say.
Geez, I don't know. I wish Marie would have enjoyed herself more.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know
No.
what happened there. Our flights are flights of 4, so we hope you could remember the 4 beers that we explained and
Sure.
you
Yeah,
ordered. We don't do flights larger than 4.
Yeah, it gets
so-
confusing.
Like one of those big carousel things?
Yeah.
And like I also feel like if you're doing like I see places that do like 10 beer flights and it just seems like you're not going to remember anything about
You're not at all.
half of
no,
those
we'll
beers.
let you order as many flights as you want. You just get 4 at a time. Yeah.
Also, I think it's funny
yeah.
that she moved from a place that's very similar to Denver in a lot
Absolutely.
of ways, and was just
Yeah.
like, I also don't like it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the reason I chose that one is because it's
Yeah.
like I just moved from Austin to get away from Austin.
It's like, well, you kind of wound up in Austin just
Yeah.
a little farther north.
Keep Denver weird, you know? Like I don't know. That kind of stuff bothers me because also I don't want to sound like a curmudgeon having lived here my entire life.
are
The
a fucking curmudgeon,
Fuck
though.
you, Korey. Go back to upstate New York. I don't know. It's like the thing is that this neighborhood is both it is a weird blend of bro and hipster, and a lot of the negative reviews on your guys' page are attacking like the bros and hipsters, and it's like you can put out like a certain vibe inside the brewery, but outside the brewery, like the neighborhood is what it is, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
And so it's like crazy to me that people are like, this place is too hip, and it's like, then fucking try South Broadway.
That's not our fault.
Yeah.
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 Go back to the Blackout Block, maybe on Blake Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get in Lodo's.
Yeah,
Hang out
yeah.
at the Cowboy
Yeah.
Lounge.
Yeah, something like that.
So you did pour some of the Keller Pills, which is fantastic, by the way. So Keller Pills seems to be one of the styles that's been it's more prevalent these days than it used to be.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I love a Keller because it
Yeah.
seems like it's got more texture than your straight up pills, a little more grainy flavor. So why brew a Keller Pills as opposed to just like a regular German or Czech Pilsner?
We don't have a filter, so
Perfect.
we're not able to filter.
So you should just call every beer a Keller whatever.
Yeah. So our pills is just going to be a Keller Pills by default.
Yeah.
We do love German beers. We have Bierstadt right next to us, so I'm not going for straight up German style beers. We're going to do a Colorado take on our lagers.
Yeah.
So anytime we brew a lager, it's going to be all Colorado ingredients.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, so you love Belgians specifically. We
Yep.
have a great sour beer in front of us, an awesome Pilsner. Would you say that our mutual friend is known for any particular, like, brewing tradition, like in particular? Do you guys are mostly sour beers? Is it IPAs? Is it all over the map? What's your guys' calling card?
We probably like saison and sour beer. We've had some success competition wise with those beers.
Like what? Brag a little bit.
Okay, yeah. So I forget what year. The last World Beer Cup, we got a gold for Brett Saison.
I think gold's pretty good.
That's pretty good. We have a few silvers. We got a silver at JBF for a Brett Saison. We got a silver for a golden sour at JBF, and then a collab that was brewed at
Callback.
Cerebral.
Callback.
For Brett Saison as well, another silver.
Did you guys brew the collab here
over at Cerebral? That
Nice.
one was brewed over there. Yeah,
I like
called Dreamy Thing. Yeah,
Cerebral's
Yeah.
really good too.
yeah, it's awesome.
I really love their beer.
Yeah, great brewery.
And from what I understand, you guys are renowned for doing collabs with lots of different places.
God, I wanna
do.
punch you
And
in
do
the
you guys,
face
and-
right now.
oh, shut up. And when other breweries come to town, like it seems like you throw events like with other breweries where you put their beers on tap.
Oh, totally.
So
Yeah.
what's that culture like, and why do you guys do that?
It's just generally these are like really we are actually friends with these breweries, so
Yeah.
we just want to do something fun
Right.
with them. We're not brewing beer just to crank out a million collabs. It's just we meet friends and we want to do stuff together. That's cool. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's-
that's the end goal of it. Anytime, just do something cool.
You guys didn't just come up with
Yeah.
the name and you're like, we need to name ourselves something to make people like us. Is
Right?
that-
No.
It's very similar. The comedy culture and the brewery culture is one of the reasons we want to do this, to bring comedy and breweries together, is because it's so similar in the fact of like, oh yeah, like there's a ton of competition, but like we still want to be friends with each other and work with each other and shit.
Yeah.
It's like I hate Korey David, but I'm still willing to work with him.
Yeah, because I'm much funnier than you are.
That's not why I hate you.
Yeah.
No, Corey's great. We get along very well.
But that was one of the reasons we started the podcast, was because the beer community is just full of really cool people.
Yeah.
That often were doing things that they just didn't particularly enjoy, or they enjoy a lot of the same activities, hobbies, music, all that kind of stuff. Can you recall a job in particular, or maybe the one you had right before you moved out here, that you just fucking hated and it kind of pushed you towards the beer industry?
It is the job before I started brewing beer
Perfect.
and working in the industry. I'd been trying to get into the industry for about a year and a half. It was like 2011. There was like maybe 10 breweries in Denver, and only maybe 3 of them hired regularly. So
Sure.
hard to get a job. I was a project manager for a house painting company. I ran like 6 crews painting houses all over Aurora, Parker, everywhere. It was a bummer. I worked like 6-7 days a week during the summer. I had 2 months off in the winter, which was cool.
When you were
So I was trying to get brewing jobs around then. Yeah.
when you were living in Breck,
Yeah.
were you just kind of a ski bum?
Yeah.
Or did you have a job up there?
I worked on the mountain, which
Nice.
was kind of tight.
Yeah, no,
didn't make any
absolutely.
money, but
Right. Yeah,
it was
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
But then when I moved down here, had a bunch of odd jobs, and then my last job was like that house painting project manager job, which
Outside
was
of houses, inside of houses?
both. Yeah, yeah. Ran
Are there
like-
certain
yeah.
jobs where you had to like go to the place and somebody picked a color and you're like, this is garbage.
Oh,
but
totally.
we'll do it?
And then you just do it because it was funny.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, this is horrible. Let's do it.
Anything
Yeah.
that stood out,
You
like
just don't say
any
anything.
color combos that
Just
are just
really,
like, Jesus.
just like shit colors, like shit looking
Like poop-
colors.
like
yeah,
poop colors?
Yeah. I like colors, so like anytime somebody picked a wild color, I was hyped on it. I
Right.
thought that was cool, but like just people painted their house like poop looking colors.
yeah.
all the time.
Anybody that says
Yeah.
they hate color
Yeah.
is like somebody that's
Yeah.
like, I hate music. I hate sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that say I hate colors, and they're talking about people specifically. And
Oh,
they're-
that's true.
They're the absolute worst.
Yeah, I think there was
So-
a very dark period of time in our American history.
That's currently still, unfortunately, that
Those
still
people can go
exists.
fuck
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, yeah, I would love to like if I did that and I had that much money, I would just fuck with you guys like once a month. I want my house to be olive with like a bright purple trim, and just have you come back a month later and do something different.
And as long as you're
God.
paying, they probably
If
don't
you're
give a shit.
paying, yeah, we're
to
good.
be rich,
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
But it was miserable, so I was very happy to finally get into the beer industry when I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you were telling me before we started the podcast that you guys are literally in the midst of like setting up a new brew system, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been a month-long project. We got all of our new equipment in at the beginning of January.
Is
whole
it-
new brew house.
Is it brand new or is it?
brand new?
Oh, nice.
So brand new 10-barrel direct fire brew house, and we also got a new glycol chiller, 10 horsepower glycol chiller out back, and a new control panel for all of our glycol, and
So
added another 20-barrel fermenter.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
So you can control all of that from like your phone.
From my phone, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Any fermenter I want, yeah.
Yeah, so-
and it has a VPN, so nobody can hack me either. So
Perfecto. Controls, so you
Yeah.
can control like the stereo, the brew system, your electronic butt plug, really whatever is Bluetooth.
yeah, whatever whatever's back there.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
kind of bombed, Corey.
You, Steve. At least I'm trying to be funny.
See, it's better when you don't have to try and you just are naturally. Now, old jobs suck, so that's great that you're in here. And you like it to be here for so long definitely is like a testament to you as a person, because a lot of breweries have turnover a lot. I know my buddy David used to work here temporarily for a little bit, and I worked with him for a little bit, and I don't know what he's doing these days, but he's not working here or with me anymore. I know.
Oh
that
no.
much.
Cool
Which
story.
Which
Cool
David?
story,
I don't know
Steve.
which David.
He used to be the singer of a metal band.
Oh, I know
That shit-
David.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that should
for
give it
sure.
away.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
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 And then I watched Game 7 the night the Cubs won the World Series. I was here. The brewery
Oh,
guys
right
had the
on.
projector out.
Yeah.
I watched my friend who is a Cubs fan cry. That was fun.
This just keeps getting more sad. Like, why are you ripping on me?
No, this was a you know Eric Henderson, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he is a big Cubs fan, and he cried when they won the pennant.
What a
It was-
baby.
It was adorable.
Now, a lot of the breweries that we've talked to and that we obviously go into around town have different music playing, like on brew days and whatnot, and have a certain vibe and aesthetic. Like, what's your go-to music that you guys are ripping when you have a brew day, or that you're just, you're on the brew deck, like, for the duration of the day?
That's fucking tricky. Love music. My wife works in the music industry here. Go to shows every week almost.
Oh, nice. What did she do?
She works for a concert promoter. And
Is it AEG?
It is.
Damn, I'm good.
Yeah.
Dude, the concerts in
Yeah.
Denver have been so good in the past.
I just kind of figured for this neighborhood, especially because we just got the new
Mission Ballroom's sick.
Yeah, that place is supposed
so
to be ridiculous.
listen, my wife and I are both passionate about beer, but everybody in the at the brewery for the most part has decent taste in music, which is cool.
Yeah.
In the back of the house, I've been listening to Post Animal. I've been on a big hardcore kick, old school New York, upstate New York hardcore kick.
nice.
Love hardcore.
It's pretty
Gonna go
brutal.
see this band called Snapcase that I've been listening to since 7th grade and never been able to see them.
Do you ever get
Yeah.
in the pit?
Back in the day, for sure. Yeah. Not anymore.
I'm just
no way. I'm old.
hanging-
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
figure
yeah,
out
yeah.
like how easily you can.
I'm just
kick my
hanging out
ass.
and throwing my forearm
Yeah,
up
you just
next
put
to
the
the
forearm
pit.
up.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
lose a
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
tooth
No.
on a Wednesday.
Yeah, no.
At this point. So,
So hardcore, but jazz to hardcore, anything like in between to
you've
that.
seen Every
yeah.
Time I Die, I'm sure.
Oh, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
I think I've seen them
Yeah.
more than I've seen
Yeah.
any other band.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
guys.
I went last time they were here. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Turnstile opened. That was super sick. I love them. They're out of Baltimore, Maryland, I think. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's like if a band's coming to town that you just got to see, who's it going to be?
It's Wilco. Wilco is my all-time favorite.
Oh,
Really?
okay. Yeah, that's not at all.
Yeah. So we play a lot of Wilco. Yeah. No, I'm all over the place.
Do you get in the pit and fucking mosh for Wilco?
Hell yeah,
Just throw some bows around?
Absolutely. Have a metal
Hardcore
drummer.
dancing?
I'm sure the hippies love that.
Yeah. I like the Dead. I'll go see the Dead too. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, just good music is good music.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I know
Wilco
there's
was
so
just
many
here.
bands.
Wilco was just here, and they stayed just like a couple blocks down the street. They were staying at
For the Mission.
the Ramble. Yeah, they stayed at the
They
Ramble.
stayed at the Ramble. I didn't even know
Yeah.
that. They put people up at the Ramble. Cool.
Yeah, they.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
badass.
AEG has some kind of connection there.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an awesome show. We went. Yeah.
Sweet. So we always do a guest beer on our show, just something from somebody else that we've either talked to or that we've just got laying around our cellar. And you went with the New Belgium Golden Sour Blackberry Felix. Nice choice. So blackberry beer aged in whiskey barrels. For almost 10 years, our wood cellar team has cultivated a special relationship with the distillers at Leopold Bros in Denver.
are those? Wait, where's the stop in those sentences? Because you made it sound like for 10 years they've been barrel aging.
Yeah. Well, they've been barrel aging for a lot longer than that. But for almost 10 years, our wood cellar team has been working with the distillers at Leopold Bros. Yeah. And then this special beer features our Fodor aged golden sour Felix, matured in first use Rocky Mountain blackberry whiskey barrels. A beer by Colorado for Colorado. So,
I guess that means you two can't drink it. This is all for me, baby.
No. Cheers. Yeah.
Dunzo. So we had some Baltic porters and we had a Goza on the table when we had you kind of pick something out. So what drew you to this specifically?
I knew it was going to be good. That's basically it. Yeah, I wanted to drink a good beer.
Yeah, that's one of the things
yeah,
that I think gets
yeah.
most overlooked in the beer
Yeah.
industry these days is, somebody can make something really great once, a couple times, whatever, but consistency is often the biggest problem, from batch to batch to batch.
Totally.
How much can you replicate
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the sour beer world, it's really hard to replicate those beers because they take so long to age and ferment. And
a lot of
fruit.
these-
There's just a lot of variables.
And oftentimes they
Yeah.
are blending,
Yep.
like young and old and whatnot.
Yeah, but I just have mad respect for the sour program up at New Belgium for a sour program in America. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
I wonder.
yeah,
I'm curious as to like where they're gonna go now with the buyout. Like if they're gonna still do these kind of like special barrel stuff, or if they're just gonna focus more on mass production.
I mean, I think they will, but they've been focused on mass production for quite some time now. So they've always had enough funds, it seems, to be able to keep this program going. Because if you go into like their fooder room that they have at the brewery, it's fucking cool. Like it literally feels like
totally.
you're walking
It's
through a scene
insane.
in Dr. Seuss
yeah.
or something.
They have so many.
But
It's
they've
crazy.
been on the path of
Yeah.
making like whatever the market's kind of demanding for quite some time.
Oh,
now.
absolutely, yeah. From going from Fat Tire to Fat Tire White, and then pushing all their Ranger stuff.
Yeah, and all the fruit beers that they were coming out with,
yeah.
like it seemed like
Yeah.
every couple of months they were
Yeah.
coming out with a different fruit beer. But I
Which
mean,
is- yeah.
that's the difference between being at like a certain scale, certain size,
Yeah.
and then having a certain amount of debt that you have to start making decisions that just start affecting the bottom line a little bit more. For you guys being like a smaller brewery, like how much do you guys lean on what's going on in the market versus like what you just want to brew?
We mostly just brew what we want to brew. We're really lucky. We're so small.
great.
We don't have to pay attention to trends that much.
Yeah. Do you guys
we
have a
do
seltzer?
like new trends. We will bring in we're like, shit, we like this type of beer. We're gonna start making
Yeah.
that.
Have
But
you-
we're not gonna start making a beer that we're not inspired by.
Okay.
Have
just because
you-
it's selling right now.
Have you brewed a seltzer?
No.
Nice.
I'm out on hard seltzer.
Round of applause
Yeah.
for that.
NA seltzer crush all day, every day.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
LaCroix
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah. Polar. Polar seltzer.
Oh my gosh, Polar makes the best. There's
Polar
that
seltzer.
blueberry lemonade they do.
Yeah.
Ah,
Sponsor us, Polar seltzer.
I wish I could, sponsor this podcast.
Sponsor the podcast. Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Now, is there something
Yeah.
that you guys made here that you were a little reluctant to at first, and then it wound up being a big success, or anything like that?
Oh man, not really. Since we're so little and we are able to brew new styles that we're inspired by, we're kind of hyped already on them. We haven't had to come back around, to defend a beer. Luckily enough.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What about something that you were really hyped on that wound up being kind of a dud? Like
Oh, that's I'm sure happened. We've had some like ingredients that we've tried to use that were like we thought were going to be cool, like cascara in a Berliner Weiss, which is like the fruit of a coffee bean, the cherry of it.
Okay.
And it was just really gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even tap it. Yeah.
Try some of that
Yeah.
barbecue sauce from Owl Bear.
Smoked beer, we personally love. It doesn't
I
sound
love
great,
smoked beer,
but
yeah.
we put it on tap all the time. We try to keep at least one smoked beer on tap.
Do you
all the
guys
time.
collaborate with them for that?
We don't. We haven't collaborated with them. We oh shoot, we had one called Pit Fiend actually. We have. Never mind, I lied.
Okay.
I don't like the way you're starting this relationship.
We've brewed like 200, 300 something beers.
Of course, yeah.
Sure.
So it was called Pit Fiend, and we smoked pumpkins for a pumpkin beer in their smoker.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's a pumpkin beer.
Yeah. It was kind of cool.
That sounds great.
Yeah, Colorado pie pumpkins too. So that was pretty cool. That was maybe like 3 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I dig this blackberry Felix. It's got like the right amount of tartness to it, and there's a hint of Britannomyces, a touch of horse blanket, as they
touch?
just
Yeah.
a touch of horse blanket.
Yeah.
But texture's good. I mean, nothing like overly off about it per se. I mean, what do you think?
I'm really digging it. It finishes really dry on the palate with all the flavors just falling across the whole palate. It's nice and tart. Yeah, it's great. It reminds me of New Belgium sour beer.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
And you get like a touch of the whiskey
Yeah.
flavor, but sometimes like if you get like a bourbon barrel aged stout or something along those lines, some of them it's so much
it's-
bourbon flavor that
Yeah.
it's just it's not as enjoyable.
Yeah,
kinda-
it's just I think I do get that hint of that oak.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
American
do
oak.
you guys? So do you guys do a lot of barrel aging stuff?
We do. We do a lot of. We have like 5 fooders, and then we don't do a ton of like clean barrel aging, but a lot of mixed culture stuff. We do some whiskey barrel stuff from Laws. We love Laws barrels, and
Yeah,
we've had a relationship with them for a long time.
They're great about
Yeah.
like because they're local too, and so they are
Yeah.
really really awesome about helping out Denver breweries. With
Yeah,
old
big
barrels.
time. Yeah, they're awesome. They use craft malt from Colorado Malting Company, who we use we buy malt from too. So we buy malt from the same supplier, and we love their whiskey barrels. That's the only type of whiskey barrel I buy. Actually,
Do they ever take their barrels back to use? Do they ever use them again after you guys use them?
I think they have some projects going like that. Not from us though.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Jameson was
Yeah.
promoting like an IPA barrel aged.
I've seen that
whiskey, and I'm
stuff.
like, what the fuck does that even mean? There's no IPA beer barrels.
I have no idea. Yeah,
Like,
that too.
they
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
were
What?
just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a marketing department just started Googling beer terms, and they're like, how many can we fit into
I don't
this?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last thing this whiskey needs is hops. Because I mean, hops is such a cachet thing right now too. Where
Oh, yeah.
people are just willing to like put it on anything just to feel
Yeah.
like it's gonna sell a little bit more. I'm stupid.
Check out our new IPESB.
But so one thing that seems to happen a lot in this industry, especially with smaller brands, because you guys are coming up with new beers all the time,
Yeah.
200 or 300 beers. Have you guys had any interesting seek and desist orders from a beer name? Because it sounds like you came up with one that you had like a bunch
Yeah,
of other
and
people
we're stealing
piggybacked
that
onto
name,
you.
but nobody caught on to that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, we've never had a cease and desist. We really do our best to have original beer names, whether
Yeah.
they're like we're like taking them from outside the industry or something like that, or just coming up with them on our own. That's like we never try to reuse beer names ever.
Yeah.
And sad to say, we're pretty anti-pun on our beer names too. Yeah, we stick away from them.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
I mean-
yeah. Not great to say on a comedy podcast. But,
No,
No, it's fine.
it's okay to
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
couple, but if that's
Sure.
like all it is,
if that's what you hang your hat on,
it's,
then
it's yeah. I mean,
it's tired.
Corey's entire
Yeah.
act is pun based, so it's like,
Not very punny or funny.
see, exactly.
So we've been lucky on that. I can't think of anything. Yeah, we actually steer clear of that completely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all good.
Yeah.
So as
Yeah.
a brewer, do you ever get out in the field? Do you guys have like on-staff salespeople, or is everything served here?
We distribute a little bit around Denver, and then we distribute beer to California, Oregon, and North Carolina, bottles and kegs a couple times a year as
So
well.
is this all like with collaborators that you work
in
with? or-
festivals that we go out to, so we'll ship a pallet of beer out while we're going out there. So a couple times a year we send beer to those states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many collaboration beers are you guys doing a year, though?
We did a ton last year. shoot, maybe we did like 20 last year.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I haven't done any this year, and I might have one on the book. We're backing off a little bit on it.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot
Yeah,
of
we did a
coordinating.
lot last year. But we'll keep doing them for sure.
sure.
Yeah, we love doing it.
Anyone in particular
yeah.
that stands out, whether it be the beer itself or just like the people that you work
Oh
with?
man, yeah, we have one coming out February, March. Our collab with Boulevard, which was a
sick.
super sick thing to be
That's
able
awesome.
to brew, and we
Yeah.
brewed a Brett Saison with them, which is like an awesome thing to brew with Boulevard. So that was like a highlight of that happened last year.
Now, how did that
Yeah.
all go down? I mean, did they they reach out to you?
So we
presumably?
got invited out to their festival called Boulevardia.
Yeah.
And then we hung out with them there, and we were like, "Oh, next time you're in Denver, let's brew a beer." We actually brewed a beer there during Boulevardia. So there'll be a beer that we brewed there that'll be coming out. That's going to be mixed culture Brett beer with wine grapes.
Nice.
And then ours is Brett Saison, Saison bottle condition with Brett hopped with Galaxy and Strata. Yeah.
That's super awesome.
But yeah, we were just like, they're brewers, we're digging our stuff and had been by a few times. And then obviously we love Boulevard beer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, their
Yeah.
whole smokestack series is always
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Love Child's
Amazing.
One of the
Yeah.
best sour beers I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing sour wild program. Saison, like they still brew tons of Belgian style beers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sell a lot of it. Yeah.
That's super awesome. Is
Yeah.
there anybody that you want to collaborate with that you haven't yet?
It doesn't have to just be a brewery.
Yeah, I was thinking about this.
Whether it's
Yeah.
like a band or whether
Yeah.
it's like
Like
another company.
Wilco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wilco would be cool, but Jeff doesn't drink. Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, but maybe they'd still do it. Wilco would be sick. Yeah. As far as breweries go, there's like a few out there that maybe, someday would be cool. Love to brew a beer. If Jester King would ever do one, we would do one with them. I just admire that brewery a lot.
Yeah, what about
Yeah.
them specifically?
Oh, everything. Their culture is beautiful. They brew beer that I could drink like an infinite amount of. I've been to that brewery like 3-4 times now. It's my favorite place to drink beer in the world. It's just an awesome brewery.
I like them because
Yeah.
their name reminds me
Yeah.
of our relationship, me and Korey, where he's the jester and I'm the king. That would make
I'm just
you,
going to let that one sit there.
that would make
for a
you
second.
funny.
Yeah, that one needs
Jesters
to
are
sit.
I like
funny.
the fact that we haven't really convinced Jan that we're funny yet.
We're an hour in. and
We're both swinging and missing the jokes that we're putting out. I don't know if he's just being really polite or if we're really just not that funny.
Probably both.
That's probably a mix of
A
both.
little bit of both.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
We're usually supposed to get more funny the more beers that we have.
No.
We're doing this a little earlier in the day.
So I know I see the ring on your finger, so you're
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
So you might be a little out of this game per se.
Okay.
You're familiar with Tinder, I assume.
Sure.
Okay. So
Actually,
Ever heard of
I've
it?
never touched it though.
Well,
yeah, because that was that didn't come out.
are you convincing us or your wife right now?
Yeah.
I don't really.
That's a good joke.
Never heard of it.
Got one.
Fuck you, Steve.
Only took 55 minutes and 58 seconds.
All right, so usually when people set up a Tinder profile, you put your best pictures on there and maybe some of your key attributes.
Oh.
What would you say? Not you. Well, actually, do both. What are your key selling points as a brewer that you'd put on a Tinder profile, and then what would you make as a Tinder profile? Yeah, Tinder profile for our mutual friend.
Oh shit. So what do I got to do? I gotta.
You don't got to pick a picture
You,
because
you
Okay.
just say, like, I love hiking and the outdoors.
Oh, yeah.
I'm outdoorsy.
Okay.
I like dogs.
I'll do OMF first. Like, like love music, going to shows, love sour beer.
I'm into it so far. My finger's on the picture.
yeah.
I'm not sure if I want to swipe left or right.
Love the
yet.
outdoors too. Love motorcycles.
Ooh, bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vroom, vroom.
Yeah.
Start my
Yeah,
heart.
love art. Yeah. That'd probably be OMF.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so now.
Love dogs on the patio only.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you had to set up a Tinder
Yeah.
profile for yourself, what would you even say?
Shit. Something similar. I put a lot of myself into the brewery as well.
Happily married.
Happily married.
Put that at the top.
Yeah, loves music, loves food and beer, and Love snowboard. I love to snowboard.
Yeah. How often?
yeah.
How often do you get a chance to go up?
I'm shooting for like 30 days this year,
Wow,
which
that's
would be
good.
pretty good from Denver.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm at like 12.
What kind of board do you ride?
I got a whole new fucking kit this year, which I'm
Nice.
super hyped about.
Have
Head
you
to
used
toe.
it?
Yeah, I got 12 days this year. I got a Burton Deep Thinker, which is like one of Danny Cass's free ride boards. I went step-on boots and bindings.
How are those working?
I'm loving it so
Pretty good.
far
Do they
for
have-
an old fat guy. I'm
do they
like,
have
I'm
backs?
Yeah, they do have
Still have
backs.
backs,
Yeah,
okay.
that's good.
Yeah.
That was
Really
my
responsive. The
bigger
boots were a nightmare to break in, but they broke in finally, and I'm good to go.
I had the opportunity to go
yeah.
snowboarding with Danny
Yeah.
Cass. I used to work for
Oh,
a place.
shit, yeah.
And I won a contest to go to Park City to go snowboarding with Danny
Yeah.
Cass. And this was right after he won his like first silver medal.
Yeah.
And I hated my job so much that I quit before I ever got to go. I was like, fuck
man.
this. Yeah. It was,
Tell me about all the Christmas presents you didn't get me, Dad. Jeez. What a letdown.
Yeah.
That would have
it
been
was-
pretty cool.
It would have been. Should have been.
You had to go to a resort around here?
I ride Breck still. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you spent so much time there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get, like,
Still
a
ride
hookup
Breck a
on
lot.
passes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff,
I
or
just
no?
get that one pass, and that's it.
Do you swing by any of the breweries up in like Frisco when you're
Totally,
done?
yeah. Out of range, usually come by.
Outer
Usually
Range
go
is
through
great.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Outer Range is very good.
So how
Yeah.
do you feel? So Breckenridge Brewery is obviously one that was has been a staple
Yeah.
in the community for quite some time. They've been bought by Anheuser-Busch. So did you know a lot of people that worked there, or
I didn't, but I frequented the one down in the Arts District where the production facility used to be
Yeah.
all the time, where they had the barbecue. I used to go do trivia there and shit. I'm pretty anti AB InBev.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I have a sticker of Calvin pissing on the AB InBev logo
nice.
on my truck.
I
Yeah,
have
for
a,
sure.
I have a stand-up bit about those stickers, so that's fun.
Yeah, we custom made. We used to have a die cut machine, so I made that one. So it's a bummer. The way I stand on that kind of thing, those selling outs and stuff, is that like they make great beer. People are awesome. I'm just not spending my money there anymore.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
There's too
yeah.
many places
Yeah,
where you can make
yeah,
go spend
yeah,
your time.
yeah.
I remember when when ABI bought Elysian a few years back.
Yeah,
or whatever,
totally. Yeah.
there's a brewery in Seattle called Cloudburst now, which is opened by do you know Steve Luke?
I know
by chance?
Steve. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a wild dude.
He's awesome.
So, but he was always
Yeah.
responsible for making a lot of their experimental beers, like
Yeah,
a lot
Space
of their
Dust.
pumpkin beers. Space Dust
Yeah,
was
yeah,
his,
yeah.
and he actually made a peach pumpkin ale, I believe, which was. When AB had put up their commercial for the Super Bowl, one of the things that they said, we don't make peach pumpkin ale. And the day before they bought Elysian, I was like, what a fucking
do that?
back slap
yeah,
in the
yeah,
face that is.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the marketing department's just not coordinating or if they're just being straight up
They
dicks.
don't care. They're too big.
Yeah, I mean, I don't appreciate the culture in its entirety because I grew up in Baldwinsville, New York, which is home to one of like the 12 Budweiser breweries in the country, and so many people lost their jobs after that, and then the culture just changed. But then I also have friends that work at 10 Barrel, and I was a bleeding heart, like fuck ABI forever, and that. But then after you work in the beer business for like 8 years or whatever. You ultimately meet people that are really cool that work on both sides,
Yeah.
right?
Totally.
And ultimately,
Yeah.
like, as long as your needs are being taken
Yeah.
care of and you're still good people,
Yeah.
then I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I just got over it to a
Yeah.
certain degree because I've met plenty of assholes that work at places like Anheuser-Busch,
Yeah,
and I've
yeah.
also met plenty of assholes that work at
Yeah.
craft breweries.
Yeah.
So it's not like we always paint this like rosy picture that it's always buckets of sunshine and rainbows in the craft beer business,
Yeah.
but every once in a while you still wind up dealing with.
Oh, absolutely.
Some
You
ass.
know, and the crew from 10 Barrel, I think, stops in the tap room regularly here.
Oh, I thought you were
and
going to
we're
say
happy-
that they're
yeah.
assholes.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, those
Oh,
guys
yeah,
suck.
totally. Yeah, the guys from 10 Barrel.
It's it's like the relationship between stand-ups and improvisers.
Oh,
Where it's
improv
like,
just sucks.
you're so wrong. You're so wrong.
Fucking hate improv.
Well, you'd be funnier if you.
What
did it.
about sketch? What is the difference between sketch
Oh, dude,
and
don't you,
improv?
No,
Is
let me
there?
talk about this. Okay,
Okay.
so sketch is
Yeah.
like written out beforehand. So I did.
Ah, yeah, all right.
I did a festival in
Yeah.
San Francisco. It's one of the biggest comedy festivals in the country. It's called
Yeah.
SF Sketch Fest.
All right, cool,
And the
man.
very first time you do it. You have to host. You host as a stand-up for improv and sketch. So improv, they just make it up on the spot. Sketch, they plan it out. So I introduced the very first sketch team, and I bring them out, and I go backstage, and about a minute and a half into their set, this girl backstage leans over to me, and she's like, oh, this sketch is great. He gets fully naked during the sketch. And I peek my head out, and sure enough, this dude, the sketch is, the guy has ants in his pants. And so he takes off all of his clothes and starts running around the audience. And I know it's San Francisco, but everybody is horrified. No. And like, yeah, he's just butt-ass naked running around this venue. And I'm like, it'd be one thing if he just did this. It would suck still. I'd be mad about it if he just did this. But like, 8 of you planned this, wrote it, and knew that it was going to happen and thought it was a good idea.
No. Yeah. You had a lot of checkpoints to get to this.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was just like, man, I don't know about a sketch at all. So I sketch is definitely like, I frown upon it. And it's maybe just that one situation, but I was like, fuck sketch. Fuck sketch.
Fuck it. Yeah, you leave enough maniacs in a room for long enough, they're going to come up with some ridiculous shit.
Totally. Yeah. Like I'm even though like Jackass was kind of sketchy, it was way more improvised than it was like written out and planned. Everything in sketch is written, where improv is like not at all.
I don't know. I feel the same way about improv as I do about Yingling. It can just fuck itself. I really don't.
And the thing is it will, and it will still be successful without your support.
That's fine.
It doesn't need you.
Yeah. Taking the ABI approach to improv.
Also, Yingling and improv would both make you funnier. So, and that's not even saying you're not funny. You're funny, but
you heard it here.
Yeah, the first time, 7 episodes in the podcast.
Might be the first compliment that we've gotten on the podcast.
But yeah, I mean, like improv is good for stand-ups, and they all hate improv, and they should do it. I did improv for a long time, and it definitely helped me.
Sure. Well, Jim, before we get out of here, thank you so much for having us at the brewery. This place is amazing. The beers are fantastic. Anything you want to say, like events you want to plug or releases, things like that you got coming up? Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, OMF is going to be out for San Francisco Beer Week, which happens next week. And then we're going to be pouring at Festival of Dark Arts, Astoria, Oregon. And then we are going to be pouring at Food for Thought at Green Bench in St. Petersburg. So if you're anywhere out there, try our beers there or come by Denver.
Nice.
Yeah. Come hang.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. We had a great time.
Yeah.
OMF here down at, what's this cross street? Larimer and 28th?
Yep.
Yeah, Larimer and 28th down here in Rhino. See some of the art. You can see that picture that person posted on Yelp. See it in real life.
IRL. Yeah.
What's also funny about that, too, is there's another side to that picture that people don't always see. Like, people will walk by one way and not realize that there's another portrait on the backside.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Korey, you got anything to say?
Oh, man. Thanks again.
Tight.
Awesome.
Well, we'll see you guys soon on the next episode of Rotating Tap.